What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the HG Sports Podcast. It's December 12th, 2019, and I know I'm a day late. I might even be 2 days late on this episode, but I took a day off because I put out 3 episodes last week. Kind of a lot of work to put out that many episodes. Won't happen very often, and I won't be late on episodes very often. But I thank you for your patience. Before we get right into the episode, I do have a couple things on my agenda. Number one, I really want to say thank you to all my supporters for on all my recent videos, especially my last one, the Colin Kaepernick video. I was very unsure of it, you guys, and the amount of views, the likes, the comments, it's all been the most on my channel, and you guys have really boosted my confidence with that one, and I appreciate it a lot. You guys are awesome, and if you haven't seen it, I will put the link in the description if I remember. If I don't remember, just click on my channel name down below, and then it will be the second video after this one, and you can watch that and give me your feedback on that one. And next, if you're on audio only, Spotify or Stitcher podcasts, then you're missing out on the extra content that I have over on YouTube. On YouTube, I have a short little series called Quick Hits, just quick little videos on various topics. And I also have, like I mentioned before, a player breakdown on Colin Kaepernick. So for you people on YouTube, you are actually getting all the content that you could be consuming from me. And next, if you want to support me, because I have gotten a couple text messages from people saying, hey, how do I really support you? Is there anything I can do? Yes, the biggest thing you can do for me is, number one, share the video. That gives me more exposure to various amounts of people. Like the video, and please subscribe. So I know a lot of you guys aren't subscribed. If you can, or if you could you please subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with the content. And if you want to keep up, press the notification bell because that will give you a notification as soon as I post. I know a couple of you have it on. If you don't, click that right there. And let's get right into the video now. So, you know how we do it on here. We have our recaps, and until someone tells me that they want a preview every single week, like a game of the week preview, I'm not going to do them anymore. I will do them for playoffs and Super Bowls, and like next season, I'll do like a preview for the season, but I won't do a weekly preview unless somebody asks for it specifically. I do still have my 2 recaps, and I do have my weekly roundup. So it's going to be shorter episodes than the normal 40-minute episodes you guys are used to. I hope that's okay. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the Steelers and the Cardinals. And let's start by talking about the Cardinals and this offense specifically. I don't really have too much to say about, or I don't really have anything to say about the defense. And first I want to talk about Kenyon Drake and say how wrong I was. I want to admit to being wrong. I like to be right a lot, but I will admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about him being traded to the Arizona Cardinals. If you guys have kept up with the channel, my very first episode, I did a ranking of the, I think it was 9 trades or the 10 trades before the trade deadline, and I put Kenyon Drake last on my list of most impactful, and I was wrong. When he was in Miami, he rushed for 47 times for 174 yards and 0 touchdowns, 22 receptions for 174 yards. Since being traded, he has amassed 280 yards on 65 rushes and 1 touchdown. So he's doing a lot better than he was on the Dolphins, and he's doing all that on a running back committee. And don't forget that Arizona is trying to play catch up most of the time because they suck, and they're trying, so they can't really run the ball as much as they would. Like on good teams, you get where you're going to run the clock out a lot. So you're going to get the couple extra carries. You're going to get the extra yards. You don't get that. Kenyon Drake doesn't get that. And plus, being in the running back committee with someone like David Johnson, this wasn't a running back committee beforehand. It's a committee because, mainly, Kenyon Drake looks so good. I did want to point that out. I did want to acknowledge I was wrong. And I want to say congratulations for Kenyon Drake for getting out of Miami and looking good in Arizona. One bad team to another bad team doesn't really make too much of a difference, but he does look better, and he's having more of a chance than he does in Miami, which is funny because he had the number 1 role definitively in Miami. Next thing I want to talk about is the quarterback of this offense, Kyler Murray. And I want to say that Kyler needs a lot of help around him. This offense ranks 10th worst overall, 22nd overall in offensive line. That includes the pass protection, 15th in rushing yards, and 25th in rushing attempts. Like I said, they're trying to play catch up most of the games. The team's best receiver is ranked 27th overall. Can you guess who it is? It's Larry Fitzgerald. Old man Larry, okay? The next closest wide receiver is Christian Kirk, and he's ranked 100th overall. Charles Clay is the tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. He's ranked 22nd, so not too bad there. Not too bad. Still not great, but not too bad compared to the rest of the team. Talking about his offensive line failed him time and again all game long, especially on the final drive. I mean, 1st and 10 turned into 4th and 22 very, very quickly on that final drive. Didn't even give Kyler a chance to come back, because when I see the final score, obviously, I go, okay, how does Kyler do in this situation? Let me watch this. Let me really pay attention to what he's doing. Well, the kid didn't even really get a chance to do anything because it was 4th and 22 before he even had a chance to do anything. And then obviously there was a penalty on the defense, and then they got to move up a little further. But it didn't make too much of a difference. I mean, you have to give him a chance, and they give him 0 chances. It's really disappointing for a young kid. And Josh Rosen went through the same thing, to try to go and develop when you have such a bad offensive line. Sam Darnold doesn't look that great. You want to know why? The offensive line is trash. Trash. You have to build a good offensive line around a young quarterback, protect him to give him that time. Sure, you have the mobile quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, but there's only so much they can do. And if they're failing him time and again, he's not going to get very far. And he has a lot to improve on. He's not innocent in all this. Okay? He's part of this 10th worst overall offense. Okay? He only had 194 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He couldn't seem to get the ball past 6 yards, except on like a couple of throws here and there, including the one of the touchdown passes. This is supposed to be the daunting air raid offense that was coming into the league, and everybody was super excited for the coach that came from the college levels. His name's Cliff Kingsbury, I believe. Everyone was super excited for it. You know, Kyler's going to throw the ball 40 times a game. They're going to air it out. Sure, we're expecting his completion percentage to be low, but man, I mean, it didn't look good. So what happened? Why weren't they getting big plays, except for, like I said, maybe like 2 or 3 passes, including 1 touchdown? That 1 touchdown was beautiful. Beautiful throw to David Johnson. I mean, he put it right on the money where exactly it needed to be. But outside of that, and 1 for a first down, I think it was like, I don't know, it was 15, 20 yards, I believe, somewhere around there. What happened? Well, for this game specifically, I can say the Steelers' defense happened. Let's talk about them. This defense is insane, and they're not getting nearly enough recognition. I mean, you have New England, you have Buffalo, you have the 49ers, you have these defenses who are so good, and they're getting talked about so much. This Steelers defense is the only reason why the Steelers are 8-5 right now. They're solely responsible for keeping the Steelers in any game, winning any game, because the offense just has to do just enough to win the game. That's it. They're keeping them in the game, and they're giving the ball to the offense, saying, okay, now all you got to do is score just enough points for us to get this W. All right? The pass rush is smothering. The secondary is ball hawking. They have 2 legitimate Defensive Player of the Year candidates in TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. They're relentless, and they wear down an offense. They never let Kyler Murray get going with his legs, only allowing 2 yards to a very, very mobile and fast quarterback. Okay, let me list some facts for you guys so you understand where I'm coming from. 5th in the league in total defense. 5th in the league in passing defense. 1st in takeaways. 9th in rushing defense. 1st in sacks. Only allowing 18 points per game. They have 1 sack and 1 takeaway in every single game this year. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the only other team that has been able to do that in a full season was the 1974 Pittsburgh Steelers. The Iron Curtain. I'm pretty sure you guys know who that is. All right. 3 players that should end double-digit sacks too. I won't tell you who it is. Without Googling it, can you tell me who it is? And let me know down in the comment section below if you know who the 3 players are. No cheating. No cheating. Let me know. And then if you're right, I'll like your comment and say, yes, you're right. It is these 3 players. And then the reason why I recapped this game is because it was big for the Pittsburgh Steelers because they are in the playoffs if it ended today. But they do have one team hot in their trail, and they needed this win. This and the Jets are the last 2 easy games on their schedule. But they also face Buffalo and Baltimore, 2 really, really good, tough teams in their own conference. The team that's hot on their trail is the Tennessee Titans, who face the Texans and the Saints. And they face the Texans twice, and they face the Saints. That's where the other game is. So they have a tough schedule. Pittsburgh just needs to close it out with a couple of wins. Take at least one of those games. In Buffalo or Baltimore, they need to win one of those, and they have a chance to keep that 6th seed. And if they do that, then they're cruising to the playoffs. Next, Broncos versus Texans. I don't think I've reviewed any Broncos games so far in this season. I apologize, Broncos fans. Even though I know you guys probably don't want to talk about your team too much until recently because team's not very good. But I do know that there is Broncos fans out there in the past 2 games who are actually excited to watch their team again. I know that straight from the horse's mouth, straight from a Broncos fan saying, yes, I'm legitimately excited to watch my team again play football. And there's one main reason for that. It's Mr. Lock, of course. Drew Lock, the rookie quarterback, came into this game after winning his first game last week. It was 20-23 last week against the Chargers, 53-yard field goal and a walk-off win for Denver. And he impressed me. This was my first time watching him. He has a massive arm, and he showed that off multiple times by not just throwing deep, but he was lasering in passes, heaters into very tight windows that other quarterbacks at this level might not be able to make. And it's not all about the big arm because this is what I expected out of him coming out of college. That's why he got drafted a little bit later. It's because he's a big arm quarterback, but not too much outside of that because there's more to the quarterback position than having a massive arm. Everybody knows that. You can have the talent, but you might not have the brains, might not have the accuracy. But it doesn't seem like that's really the case anymore. Let's go over something real quick. Drew Lock was placed on injured reserve, IR, on September 1st, 2019. He came back November 12th, but he wasn't named the starter until November 30th. So that's a lot of time sitting behind Joe Flacco and being able to study the playbook, and it helped him a lot. He was looking off defenders. He was going through his read at a NFL level of skill and speed. He did a great job selling the play action. He proved a lot of people wrong, including me, by dropping dimes in this game, absolute dimes. But he's still a rookie, and it showed, especially in the red zone when he got picked off for his 1 interception. He got greedy. He tried to laser in the ball like he did earlier in the game, a couple times earlier in the game, and he paid for it. He got picked off, and and I feel like when he faces better passing defenses, this might be a kid where you live and die by the arm of Drew Lock. Massive arm, lasers in the ball, but he gets a little bit too greedy. He thinks he has the talent to do it, and he doesn't. Not saying that anybody and everybody could have made that throw. It's a tough throw to make. I don't think anyone would have made it. I just think most NFL level quarterbacks, the elite quarterbacks, those top tenors, just wouldn't have made the throw at all. And that's something he needs to learn from. He's a rookie. It's his second game. You can't blame the kid too much. And I'm not saying that Drew Lock is the future of the Broncos. I'm not saying he's not the future of the Broncos. I'm just saying he's showing a lot of promise, a lot more promise than any other quarterback drafted by John Elway, and he impressed me in this game specifically. Last thing I want to talk about the Broncos is the defense. They really stepped up against this 9th-ranked offense commanded by Deshaun Watson, and the score doesn't really give them justice. Those 24 points, there's a garbage time touchdown. It should have really been 17 to 38. They did a tremendous job this game. Kareem Jackson in his homecoming game had a big stand against them, 11 total tackles. one including for a loss, 3 pass defended, a lateral on a fumble recovery, great team effort for a 70-yard touchdown. Also an interception on a tip drill, and he almost had another interception earlier in the game that would have gone for a pick six if he would have actually been able to corral it in and take it to the house. He showed out, and it always feels good, and it always looks good to show out against your former team. There was no disrespect there. I could see it. He still loves those guys. He was, giving high fives and dapping up what's his name? DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, I cannot believe I just spaced on his name for a second. So there's no disrespect there, but it's cool to see guys like that being able to sign big money somewhere else and still performing at a high level. Good for him. And on to the Texans. I didn't really have much to say about them, so I saved them for last. Only thing I really have to say about them is this loss puts a little bit more stress on them because one slip up and the Titans get the division. You play the Titans twice at the end of the season, and all of a sudden, you'd miss the playoffs if you lose. This was supposed to be one of the easy games for them, and because they lost, it puts a lot more stress on them. So they better watch out. They better buckle up, strap down, and play well for the last 3 games of the season. Because if not, they're screwed. All right, you guys. Let's move on to the weekly roundup. I have a couple of topics. Odell Beckham Jr., Le'Veon Bell, Micheal Vick, and the Patriots. Those are my couple of topics. And just like last week's episode, I want you guys to kind of follow along with me. Comment down below what you guys think about these topics. Let me know what your opinions are. Let's start out with Odell Beckham Jr. telling opposing players and opponents to come and get him, quote unquote, during at least one game in October. Those opponents in October, the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Patriots. So winners. If this is true, because there's no guarantees that this is actually a true thing, because it's all hearsay from one person or another. If this is true, this just shows me that Odell is still incredibly immature, unreliable, and nobody should give him a long-term contract. They'll still do it because he has a lot of talent, but they shouldn't because it shows he can't commit to a single team if they're losing. He has had one season with this team. And I guarantee that if they could just fire the coach, get a good new scheme in there, wait it out, you got yourself a winning football team. Hopefully. Hopefully for the Browns and all the Browns fans out there, hopefully. But. It's not all on them, man. You got to still be performing. You performed with Eli perfectly fine. Eli sucks, man. You perform with him perfectly fine. So it's not just the team. What if it's you? What if it's actually you? It just shows that he's immature. Maybe he's not working as hard as he needs to. Okay? But with all this going on, the Browns are still highly unlikely to trade Odell, and I think that's the best move. He needs to wait it out until they become winners, or unless he becomes a bigger distraction in the locker room. Then they can trade him. I think that's the best course of action. But honestly, it's just another thing to add into an already dysfunctional Browns locker room. I've said it before. This locker room has a lot of personalities, and it's hard to manage them all. This is not going to help at all. So let me know what you guys think about Odell Beckham Jr. telling opposing players supposedly to come and get him. And if he does get traded, where does he go? Does he go to the 49ers, Seahawks, or Patriots, or does he go somewhere else? Let me know what you guys think. Next, the New York Jets are expecting to try to trade star running back Le'Veon Bell. I don't think this is too much to do with him missing the game with the flu, then going bowling the same day. If you guys don't know about that, basically he had a flu. He missed the game, and then the same game at same day, about 2 o'clock in the morning, or I guess next day, 2 o'clock in the morning, he was bowling. He bowled a 251, by the way. Pretty impressive for having the flu. Adam Gase was pretty pissed off about it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Bowling is bowling. It's not football. It's completely different. You're not running around on a field. He needs to get off of it a little bit. But Adam Gase never liked Le'Veon Bell. Let's be honest. He never wanted to pay Le'Veon all that money, and he just didn't want him, period. And the coach, since the coach didn't want him, it just immediately creates a divide in the locker room already. And it showed me that off the bat, Adam Gase was not the right man for the job to lead this young group of guys. So I want to see the potential landing spots for Le'Veon Bell quickly, in my opinion, if he does get traded. The Houston Texans, if they want to part with more draft picks after just giving up a first in 2021 this past offseason for a couple of players, Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills, if they want to part with some more draft picks, I think that's a pretty good landing spot for him. Successful team. Philadelphia Eagles, they've been a running back committee for a while now, but the Eagles definitely benefit from a playmaker like Le'Veon Bell. I don't think that's where the Philadelphia Eagles are really going wrong in their season. I don't think that's really the problem. Their defense is a big problem. There's a lot of problems with them right now, but I don't think that is a huge hole, but they could benefit from it. Everybody can benefit from a guy like Le'Veon. The Atlanta Falcons, I just think they could use a strong run game to help Matty Ice out a little bit since Devontae Freeman can't stay on the field, number one. And when he is on the field, he's getting outperformed by whoever the backup is, whether it's Ito Smith or whether it was Tevin Coleman last year. The guy just isn't that good, and he can't recapture the magic he had a couple of seasons ago. And then he got injured, and then now he sucks. So those are the couple landing spots, I think. If you guys have any more potential landing spots, or what do you guys think about the landing spots that I have up there, let me know in the comment section below. Moving on, Micheal Vick. This has been in the news a lot. So let me give you a little backstory. Last month, the NFL announced Micheal Vick as one of the 4 legend captains for the 2020 Pro Bowl. And this month, animal rights activists are fighting back. As you guys will recall, in 2007, the police raided Vick's Bad News Kennels and found 49 pit bulls, malnourished, injured, chained to old car axles in the woods of Surrey, Virginia. There were also remains of dozens of dogs who have been killed, all part of vicious dog fighting. Later that year, a federal judge sentenced to Vick, then he was 27, and the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons to 23 months in prison, fined him nearly $1 million for victim restitution and a lifetime care and rehabilitation of the 47 surviving dogs. 2 eventually needed to be put down, 2 of the 49. Vick served 18 months of the 23 months of prison. He was let out. He then returned for another 7-season NFL. So that's the backstory on that one. If you guys don't remember, if you're a younger audience and you don't really know too much about it, or if you, even if you're not a younger audience, you're my age and you just didn't know about it. Okay, there it is. As far as my opinion, I do have a little question for you guys, for the people who are outraged. Where was all this petition signing when he was signed on to work with Fox as a color commentator? Where was this outrage? Where was it? Why is it all of a sudden now for the Pro Bowl, something that's not going to... It's the Pro Bowl. It's a stupid game that nobody really cares about anymore. Why are you guys so pissed off about this? I think it speaks volumes that Micheal Vick served his time, which is more than others can say alone. He has donated his own money outside the $1 million to organizations that are dedicated to stopping this kind of behavior. The man spends his own time, something you can't get back, your time, to speak at conventions and meetings to stop dogfighting. I think you guys are just getting outraged to be mad about something like a lot of people are doing nowadays. They're just mad to be mad. Leave the man alone. He's paid his dues in money, in time, in prison time. I mean, not a peep was said when he was signed on as an analyst. Now you guys are outraged over a stupid game that he's probably not really getting paid for. And if he is getting paid for it, not that much. Not as much as he's getting paid right now for Fox. That's kind of where I stand on that one. Let me know what you guys think about it. I might get some backlash for that. Obviously, the people, the dog lovers, which I love dogs too. Don't get me wrong. I'm an animal lover. I have a cat. I have had a dog. I've had multiple dogs before. But that's just where I stand on it. Let me know what you guys think. Next, probably the biggest story, just because, everybody hates the Patriots. Are the Patriots cheating again? And if you guys don't know what happened, basically they were caught videotaping the Bengals sideline. That's the short of it. let's look at both sides of things. Let's not just say, okay, yes, they're guilty. Okay, they're innocent. I'm not going to give you my opinions on it. I'm going to give you some of the facts. Here's why people think they're guilty. A cameraman was videotaping the Bengals sideline from the press box for most of the first quarter, coming up with about 8 minutes of footage. The footage shows the coaches making signals for the plays for Cincinnati. When the cameraman asked the people when he got caught if they could just delete the footage and forget the whole thing. The Patriots admitted wrongdoing by filming the field from the press box. This occurred 1 week before the Pats are slated to play the Bengals. The NFL or the Bengals were not notified of the filming. And the last thing is Spygate. They were told to use one of the following excuses in 2007 if they got caught. Quote, here's a quote. Tell them that you are filming the quarterback or the kicker, or that it's a footage for a team show. And that is exactly the excuse they use, that it's for a show called Do Your Job. It's a 7-part series. Now let's look at the innocent side, because that's pretty incriminating. But let's look at the innocent side now. Technically, yes, there is a show slated. Unlike 2007, there was not. There is now, so there is proof that they are filming for some type of thing, for a show. So they have that to back it up. Okay, this cameraman is an independent contractor who had no knowledge of league policies, and when they were questioned, they technically were cooperative. Okay, they had no knowledge of it. They didn't know it was wrong. They were just filming with the film. They're independent contractors. So, again, now it doesn't look so bad. The league has been sent the footage, and right now they don't think it's anything too incriminating, and they haven't, if they're going to fine them at all, because technically it was wrong, because you can't film the sideline like that from the press box. If they are to fine them, it's not going to be anything too serious. It might just be a fine. It's not going to be suspensions or draft picks like it was before. Again, doesn't look as bad now. Last thing, the Bengals are the worst team in the league. Why would they need to do that for this team? For this team specifically. And are they so stupid to do it 1 week before and get caught again doing something like Spygate? Let me know what you guys think. I'm not going to give you my opinions on this one. I know there's a couple Patriots fans out there who possibly watch my show. Seriously, you guys, let me know if you guys think your own team is cheating. Everybody outside of the Patriots who hate the Patriots, let me know what the Patriots are doing. Are they cheating again? Are they not cheating again? Is this all just a huge misunderstanding? Let me know what you think. And that's it, you guys. That's all for the episode. I mean, I'm at 28 minutes. Short episode, short and sweet. Hopefully it was pretty good for you guys. Again, if you guys want to support me, share the video everywhere. Do it to Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Share it around. Like the video and subscribe. Turn on post notifications, little bell icon, and the top right-hand corner when you press the subscribe button. I love you guys. Seriously. Peace.